to today's video. I'm Steven Zutter. Today we're going to be smoking a bunch of proteins. We got some friends, family coming by for dinner, so we're going to go over that process with you today, show you from beginning to end what we're going to do. Today is Saturday, July 22nd, 2023. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So perfect day for smoking. What we're going to be doing today is some beef ribs, pork ribs, a whole chicken, and some dinner sausages, some wheat-free pork dinner sausage that we got from Red Deer Lake Meats here in Calgary. And that's what we're going to do. I guess to go right into it, talk about the recipes. For both the beef ribs and the pork ribs, we're going to be using the same recipe, the same process for each one of them. The pork ribs are going to cook faster than the beef ribs, so we got to get the beef ribs on first, as well as the chicken. That's going to take a little bit longer than the pork ribs as well. So we'll be getting the beef ribs on first, then the chicken, the pork ribs third, and finally the sausages. The recipe for the beef ribs, I'll add a link in the description to what I'm going to be using there for the rub, as well as for the chicken. You can find both of those in the links below in the description. For the beef ribs, pork ribs, basically we're going to be smoking those at 250 degrees today. We're going to be using the 3-2-1 method. Brilliant method for smoking. If you've never used it, I highly recommend it. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to cook the ribs bone down for 3 hours, hitting them with lots of smoke for the first 3 hours. Then we're going to pull them out, we're going to wrap them in foil, and we're going to put them back into the smoker for an additional 2 hours. That's going to basically take all the fats, and it's just going to perfectly render them. It's going to keep all the moisture inside, and that's basically going to tenderize the meat, and it's just going to fall off the bone. It's going to be amazing. For the last hour, we're going to pull those ribs out of the foil. We're going to put them back in the smoker after we've marinated them with a bunch of barbecue sauce, and let them smoke for an additional hour. Looking for a temperature on both the pork and the beef ribs of about 200 degrees. That'll be the finished temperature. For the chicken, the recipe does call for a temperature of 225 degrees, but since we're doing the ribs at 250, the chicken's going to have to be cooked at 250 as well. I'll probably put the chicken lower down, so the temperature hopefully is a little bit lower in the smoker itself. But the recipe calls for 225 degrees for 4.5 to 5 hours. That is for a 4 to 5 pound bird. Our bird is just under 4 pounds, 3 pounds, 11 ounces. So we should cook a little bit faster, probably around the 4-hour mark, I would imagine. The recipe says to hit that with smoke right away, which is good because that's what we're going to be doing with the beef and the pork ribs. Before we put the rub on the chicken, and we'll show you, we're basically going to split that chicken right down the middle and open it up, so we get the ability to put rub everywhere and actually get a better smoke coverage and stuff on that chicken as well. The finished temperature of the chicken today, we're looking at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's it. So we're going to start today by, I'm going to go out and start the smoker so we get it nice and warm. While we get the proteins ready, I'm going to show you the making of the rub. Then we're going to put the rubs on, and then we're going to get them into the smoker and get that going. So here we go. Okay, let's fire up the smoker before we get anything going with the rubs. We're going to make sure it's running. We got it up to temperature so that when everything's ready to go, we can fire it in there and it's already got good temperature in the smoker. So let's take a look and see. All right, so we got the master built gas smoker here. I have converted this smoker, which was originally for propane, into natural gas. I find it's just a whole lot easier and better. I've also wrapped the smoker in a heat blanket all the way around. I'll actually show you around the back as well, which helps retain the heat, especially here in the cold winter months. So this is a thermal blanket. You can see I have the adjuster in the back for heat and smoke, and I've just screwed that in with stainless steel screws. So that actually helps quite a bit here. Today it's nice and warm, so we're not going to have any issues retaining heat. We're probably going to have an issue trying to keep it cool, actually. So let's go ahead and open this up and push. Okay, so inside this is the smoker. This thing does a lot of meat. This thing does a really good job. So in the bottom here, we're just gonna grab this. It's dirty, so we're gonna use a little hand holder. This is the tray that basically just holds the wood chips, and it's right over top of the burner there. The second rack here is for water, so we're gonna dump a bunch of water into there, because keeping moisture in your smoker is always a very important thing. So we're going to be checking this constantly throughout the day, making sure that we do have water at all times. Let's get this filled. Good. As you can see, we're not perfectly level here on the smoker, but that's not so bad. Okay, so we'll get that in there and let's fire it up. Nice and easy. We got our gas turned on already. Ooh, there we go. All right, nice and easy. Okay. Remember, we're only reaching 250 degrees maximum, so we don't need this sucker to be cranked. This thing puts out a lot of BTUs. So we're going to put that tray on so that can get heated up as well. The second we put wood on there, it's going to start smoking. It's not going to take very long at all once that pan is really hot. Okay, we'll get this buckled up. Get that back on. Okay, we're good to go. We're going to let this heat up. Right now we're currently sitting at about 150 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't take long at all to actually heat, but we actually want to get this whole thing actually really nice and evenly heated, so it's going to retain as much heat as possible. Okay, we're going to head inside and we're going to start making the rubs. Okay, welcome back. We are going to be making the rub for the ribs today. It's called Best Dry Rub for Ribs. Again, if you check the link below, we'll have that recipe posted there. I'm probably going to make a triple version of this today, just to make sure that I have enough spare and in reserve, and obviously enough for what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and start the recipe. I'm actually going to be taking all the ingredients today, putting it into my blend tech here, because I like the rubs to be a powder, a really fine powder, which I find soak better into the meat and get a much better flavor that way, as opposed to the bigger grains of the spices and such. So let's go ahead and get that started now. Okay, so you can see now we've got all of our spices nicely layered inside the blender. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn it on, let it frappe. We're going to turn it on, let it really turn all of these nice, beautiful spices into a nice fine powder, and then we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the results of blending all of our spices and see what we have. Alright, so you can see here everything is really well blended down. You can't see any individual spices at all. This is literally just the finest, absolute finest dust that you can get. This is really gonna absorb into the meat really well. I'm very excited about that. Let's take a look, take a smell, see kind of what we've got going here. It's a beautiful smell. Like, it just absolutely smells like barbecue. So that's it. For the rub, we're going to start applying that to the meat. We'll show you how that goes. We're going to do it in a couple of different layers. We're going to put a binder on first, then some rub, then another binder, and then some more rub. Once that's done, we're going to get it into the smoker. We're sitting at about 1 p.m. here. We got about 4 or 5 hours of smoking, so I'll be about right in time for dinner. Let's get going. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start preparing the pork ribs by removing the silverback. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the rub both on the beef ribs and the pork ribs at the same time. So let's go ahead and prepare those pork ribs. I've had it in the sink for a little bit here, just because it was still a little frozen. So we're just going to get it dried off a little bit, and we're going to start removing the silverback. Some people leave it on, some people take it off. I prefer to take it off. I find the rub goes in a whole lot easier and better from both sides this way. Well, it's a bit of a process, but with a sharp knife and a little bit of tugging, it's not so bad.
Okay, so we're going to get this this pork nice and dry now. It's still fairly wet from being in the sink. We're just going to make sure it's dried off, and then we're going to put our first binder on it, which is going to be French's mustard. Drying it off is going to help the binder to stick better, so that's why we're going to do that. We're just going to tap dry it with some paper towel, get the surface nice and dry. Okay, now that we're got our meat all cleaned up, we're going to add our first binder. We're going to use French's mustard on the pork ribs, and then we're going to use a Dijon mustard on the beef ribs. I want to give it a little bit more kick, a little bit more spice, so that's why we're going to do that. So we'll go ahead and start that process now. Okay, we've got our first binder on now. Now we're going to add our first layer of rub. The way I actually like to prefer to do this with this mixture, because it is so fine, is to use a sifter and just a little measuring cup. I'm going to scoop out. Again, I don't want to cross-contaminate my entire mixture that I have, because I want to reuse whatever's left over for the next time. So I'm going to use this to scoop. I'm going to put it into the sifter, and I'm basically going to go over the meat with the sifter, and I find it actually adds a nice, more even layer of the rub all over the meat. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're going to tap this in, just make sure it's nice and adhered into the mustard. Then we're going to add some olive oil as the second binder, and then we're going to go over it once again with the rib rub. We're then going to flip all the meats over, and we're going to repeat the entire process on the other side. Let's go. And that stuck really well already with that fine powder and that mustard. I don't really have to do a lot of work. It's literally already really soaking in to that binder. So we're looking really good. So let's go ahead. We're going to add our second binder, the olive oil. We're going to spread that olive oil all over, make sure we get a nice even coating all over the whole piece of that meat. Oh, you really see that mustard and that rub coming in. Oh, it looks beautiful. It smells amazing. And you can really already get a sense of what this is going to taste like. It's going to be really good. This is the thing about smoking and barbecuing. I mean, half of it's the smell, part of it's the art of doing it. Who doesn't like making amazing food? Barbecuing and smoking gives you that ability quite easily at home. So there we go. Okay, let's add the second layer of rub. All right, there we go. First layer done. Let's flip all the meats over and start the process again. Okay, there we go. Let's take a bit of a closer look. I'll take you down and see if we can get a good look at what's going on here. Alright, so this is the meat. You can see we've got really nice rub and mustards on there. It's really soaking in. This is going to be really good. So it's time to get it on the smoker. Let's go. Okay, we're outside and ready to put the meat on the smoker. So let's take a look and see what we have for temperature on the smoker. See, right now we're sitting at about 350 degrees. It's higher than we want. We want about 250. So we're going to make sure we're going to turn that temperature down. And we're going to lose a lot of heat as soon as this door opens up, but it's a good place to start, I suppose. So let's see what we got going on inside. Okay, so good thing we added that water before. It's added some nice moisture to our environment, but we're almost out, so we're going to top that water up first. Again, very important to keep moisture in your smoker the whole time that it's going. If not, your meat's just going to totally dry out. So we're going to top it up now, and then probably come back and check it in a little bit. Okay, as you can see, we have 4 racks in the smoker. We're going to try to put this meat up at the top. It's going to give it the best smoke and the most heat that we can give it here. So let's go ahead, put the beef at the very top. I think it's going to take the longest to cook. Again, we're going to go bone side down for these for the first couple of hours. Put that on there, maybe put a couple of these pork on the top as well. These are just absolutely full of sauce. These are going to be amazing. Okay, let's get that in there. Let me clean up my hands just a little bit. Okay, awesome. Now, we want to start hitting this with smoke right away. So I'm just going to go over here, grab a little bit of applewood, get it on there, and then we're going to close that up and let it go. Okay, this is the applewood that we're going to use. I had some applewood trees in the backyard, so when I chopped those down, I saved the wood. So this is perfect for being able to smoke. Throw them in this lower tray right above the heat. Piece is a little awkward. There we go. And in there, get that tray right over top of the heat source, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's already starting to smoke. That's going to be great. Okay, let's lock that door down. Okay, 3 hours, time set, start now. Let's go inside, let's get that chicken ready to go real quick,
and let's get it on the smoker as well. Okay, we're back inside after having put the beef and pork ribs on the smoker. We have a 3-hour time for those to be on. It was 2 o'clock. Then it's now 2:05. We're going to get this chicken ready to go real quick, and then we're going to get it on the smoker as well. What we're going to do is we're going to split this chicken so we can open it up, get all the rubs on it. Under the skin, we want to get the rub just kind of everywhere, and then we're going to get it on the smoker. Let's do it. Okay, so we want to butterfly this chicken. So, I'm not sure which side most people normally do. I think it's the breast. I've done it on the bottom before and split it, which is, I don't think, a wrong way to do it. Let's go ahead and split it down the breast side, which I think most people do. I've only done this a few times, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to split it. Split it right down the breastbone here. Okay, there we go, if you can see. So that's going to open up the chicken really nicely, allow us to get all the rubs in there, but then in the smoker as well, it's going to cook a lot faster because it's going to be able to get to all of those areas as opposed to trying to get the heat from the outside into the crevice there. So let's go ahead, dry this off with some paper towel and start getting some rub on it. Okay, we've got dried pretty good now. We're going to use a binder, in this case we're just going to use some olive oil, get that on, and then start going rub. Again, very important, try to keep all of the drips and everything else away from anything you're going to try to reuse, like any of this extra rub. That's again why I'm using this little measuring cup to make sure I'm not contaminating any of the rub in the jar or in the bowl there that I'm going to reuse. So this, we're just going to try to get on all of the exposed meat. We're actually going to try to dig under the skin and get some of this rub under that skin as well, so it can be in contact with the meat. Just going to get that tapped on. Okay. Now, like I said, we're going to try to get under the skin a little bit. Grab my little knife here. I'm just going to make a little slit back here, somewhere in the middle of the breast, just in the skin. Try to poke through. There we go, just a little hole. Doesn't need to be too big. Then we're going to stick our finger in there. We're going to start trying to lift up some of the skin. inside this bird, down into the leg. We're basically creating pockets for that rub to go. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, doesn't need to be a big poke. Going to get in and lift that skin up. Be careful, the skin will rip and create bigger holes. If you don't want that, just be a little careful. Okay, there we go. Okay, so once we have that, we can actually come and we can just dump some spice into those holes, and then we're going to force it in and around throughout the pocket that we made, making sure that we get that everywhere we want it to be. I'm just going to make sure that we have some really nice spices kind of coming from everywhere on this bird. So do the same thing on this other side, straight into the hole. And you can see it's a good thing that we did triple up on the rib rub recipe because we don't have a whole lot left. In fact, we'd probably be out. I did have some spare from a previous barbecue that I did, so I was able to utilize some of that. Actually, I think I'm going to use it all here, so there's going to be basically none left over. Okay, I'm going to get my hands washed up, then we're going to go out and we're going to get this bird onto the smoker, check and see how the meat is doing, make sure we got some good smoke going, and plenty of water in there. So let's do it. Okay, welcome back. So we're back outside, taking a look at the smoker. We see that we do have a nice amount of smoke already coming out. Having opened the louver at the back and turned the temperature down, we've got a nice holding temperature of about 255 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is about what we're looking for, which is good. I did get a bunch of apple wood from a bucket from my camping trailer that I used for my little barbecue that I'm going to use in here. Some of the sticks that I was grabbing before were a little bit bigger, so these will work quite well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the chicken to the second rack there, and make sure everything else inside is good. And we're going to button it up and we're going to let it go. Oh yeah, we've got a nice color on that now. Actually, and I guess we're putting the chicken on the third rack. I forgot we used the first two. We're going to open up the chicken, put it on this rack, and I see we're lower in water again, so I'm going to have to go inside, grab some water, and then top that up as well. So let's get the chicken on. There we go. As you can see, it's laid out nice and flat, so that's going to allow the heat to get right into that meat. We're breast up right now on this, so we don't want to dry out that chicken too much. So that's what we're going to do. Again, I can see the water just absolutely boiling away, so we're going to have to keep an eye on this quite frequently. But let's get this closed up to retain the heat. I'm going to go in, fill up this bottle full of water. I'll show you, I'll get it back in the barbecue there, in the water tray, and then we're going to let it go. Okay,
let's get the water in the smoker, get it topped up. Oh, I forgot my little puller, little silicone puller. Gotta go grab that. Don't want to burn myself. Okay, here we go. Now we can pull the water tray safely. Go. You know I brought some paper towel out. Again, we're just trying to keep everything fairly sanitized. Use soapy water, use water with a little bit of bleach and soap. Just make sure you're keeping everything clean as you go. Door handles, utensils, sinks, all kinds of stuff. You don't want to get any kind of diseases or anything. So always be food safe. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add thermometers inside the smoker and inside maybe one of the proteins to give us an idea of how fast it's cooking and to be able to regulate and do timing on that. So I'll get that up and running and I'll show you where we're at. Okay, so I've had a nice cold beverage, which is really nice. It is smoking hot today. I think the forecast was for it to be about 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm just baking out here. Absolute beautiful day. Searching for that shade though. It's few and far between around here, but dashing inside into the air conditioning is a beautiful thing. But onward to what we're doing today, smoking. So let's take a look at the temperature probes that we're going to use today. Love these probes, absolutely love them. Just to note, I am not sponsored by anybody. These are my own personal tools. I purchased these myself. I've been using them for years. This is a personal review based on my own experiences and my own using of them. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at what I got. Okay, so I've actually built this Pelican case for the tools. I find it helps quite a bit. So ThermoWorks, I have an entire set of different tools here. This one is actually in my kitchen right now. It's an instant thermometer. This is the wireless dual temperature sensor we're going to use today. This is a timer, three-way timer, which is really nice for timing things. Another instant probe. This is a wearable thermometer which connects to this sensor here. Hang it around your neck. It's a really nice device. It tells you both temperatures. I'll show you. So your however you have it set up, temperature 1 and 2, basically the inside of your smoker and your protein. You can set high and low alarms for each one of those. Again, you don't have to be out at the smoker. You could be doing stuff around your house and constantly be in contact with what's going on at your smoker. This device, which I haven't used a whole lot yet, I actually haven't needed to, but this is a Wi-Fi device that'll hook up to this and this system, so you can actually be down at the grocery store. You can do some running around, you can do some stuff, and via the Wi-Fi you can still check the temperature of your smoker. Absolute beautiful system, absolutely love it. Hoping to one day be able to use that Wi-Fi device. I built a tray in here. As you can see, let's get this open. Just kind of pulls open. I've got a hard pad underneath, mixed in with some foam, some cutouts that I made. And then down below we basically have all of my accessories, the different probes and such that we're going to use. So let's go ahead and pull out some that we're going to use today. I think we use maybe this one, and probably, I'm assuming, this one. One's a little different, so you can see I'm probably going to use the short stubby one just for the temperature inside the smoker. This one will be used inside one of our proteins, and then we're going to connect it to our dual temperature gauge. So let's go ahead, put that back. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my other camera so you can get a better view of the setup. I'll probably try to do a zoomed in view so you can see what I'm doing. You won't see me, my face necessarily, but let's get you a good view of how I'm hooking this up. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and hook up this temperature probe so we can start monitoring what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to take this first stubby thermometer, and I actually have a little hook in here already that the probe just goes and sits into. So we're actually going to pull this drawer out just a little bit so we can access it better. It actually just slides in nice like that. The cords are going to dangle outside the door, so we're just going to push that back in. It's going to sit just like that. This longer probe with the point on it we're going to use in our protein. I think for now I'm probably going to put it in the top piece of pork rib, or maybe the beef rib. Let's see, we'll do beef rib. We'll go to a thick part of the beef rib. Just like that. We'll stick that in. Hopefully we get kind of the center. Feel it might be the center. Try that. Okay, slide that in. Okay, at this point I'm going to throw a couple more pieces of wood on because I'm not getting as much smoke as I would like. So we're going to throw on a couple pieces here. Hopefully get some more smoke going. You can see quite a bit of the wood we put on last time is now gone. Try to get some bigger chunks so we get lots of long-lasting smoke on here. You can see we got lots of heat. Like, this wood doesn't take long at all to start smoking. It's already starting to go, so let's make sure we keep our heat in there as much as we can. Okay, I'm just going to get these cords out of the way. Okay, we're going to button it up. Okay, so remembering which probe was what, the bottom one here is going to be the temperature of the smoker itself, so let's put that in the bottom probe location, and the top one is our protein, so we're going to put that in the top location there. On the back of the device there's an on-off as well as a bunch of other buttons, but right now we're just going to turn that on. Okay, so on here, alarm 1 is on, alarm 2 is on. It does show The sound is muted on alarm 1. So we have a high alarm of 375. We want to change that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit set. So the high alarm, maybe we want to keep it at 250. So maybe we'll set that at 275. Maybe 280. Low alarm, I want to set it to 225. Oh, I did that wrong. Of course I did that wrong. So remember, this is our protein. So we want our protein to be at 200 when it's done. So we actually want to turn the low alarm down because we don't actually need a low alarm on the meat. So let's go back. Okay, we're going to set that high alarm. We wanted it around 200, so we want to be notified probably at about 190, I guess, or 180, because we want to make sure it's not coming up to temperature too fast. We want it to render nice and slow. Okay, let's set that for 180 Fahrenheit for a high alarm on the meat. We just dropped it down to 112, which is well below our current temperature of 145.5. And then let's set. Okay, so that one's good. Volume. Oh, there we go. Volume. I turned off for mute, so now it's going to beep. Let's go set our bottom temperature here. So our high alarm, now we're going to set it for probably 275 here. Again, we want to know if it's going to get too hot. Okay, 275. Then our low alarm, we're going to set for 225. So we have a 50-degree variance there. We want to keep it no less than 225. We need to get this meat cooking, obviously, but we don't want to do it too fast. That's the whole thing. We want to kind of do it low and slow. It's a little hotter than low and slow. We don't have as much time as we thought, so we are going to keep it hopefully around the 225 to 250 mark to make sure that we can get done in time for dinner tonight. So we'll set and make sure that's set. And we're actually getting an alarm. So there you go. So we're sitting right now at 216 degrees inside the smoker. So this is actually alarming us that that we're low. So that's good. Okay, so we're going to mute that. And we're going to come and we're going to adjust the temperature just a little bit, hopefully bring it up. We did just have the door open for a period of time, which in the case of this smoker, I've seen some that kind of have a smaller door down below for the wood chamber. In this case, when we open the door, all of our heat, all of our smoke is really, just coming out. So not the best design, not the worst design, but it is what it is. There we go. So we're already coming up. We're 220.6. So that's going to give us the temperature we need. So a nice feature of this this unit as well. It does come with a little stand that unfolds, so you can put it on something. I don't like putting it on top of the smoker. It gets really hot. The probes themselves are meant for really high temperature. Some are meant to be submerged in liquids, others aren't. That's why you see I have a bunch of different ones in my kit. But this main unit itself really isn't meant for a lot of excessive heat, I don't think. So it's always put off to the side. So it does have this little kickstand, but it also has magnets on the back. So if you have something magnetic, you can just stick to it. It's got to be ferrous. Obviously, it can't be aluminum or anything. But sitting up top of my barbecue over here, I think it's perfect. It is a hot day. It's going to get hot regardless. I'll just pan over and show you. So yeah, it's just going to sit up here for now and do its thing. So it's kind of out of the heat range, which is good. Okay, so this piece here, which is the remote part, you just hang it on your neck and you can wear it around the house. Again, if you're going to leave, we have the wireless unit, which would connect to your house Wi-Fi and then send Wi-Fi, I believe, to this device, maybe to your phone. Again, I haven't utilized it. It's been a while since I looked into that piece. I personally haven't needed it myself, so I'm not ultimately familiar with that piece at the moment. I do want to be, and will probably educate myself more on how that works. But for now, we got this. So basically, nice little unit. I've had batteries in here for years, in both here and in the main unit. The draw when they're sitting in their case is little to none, so you know they're using high-end parts that aren't leaking, small electric currents and such. So again, I think these are really well-made devices. I mean, you pay for them, they're not cheap, but you definitely see the quality in what you get. So let's go ahead and turn this on. I'm just going to press the front button. And basically, hopefully you can see, it's just connecting, and it will connect automatically to the main device. And as you can see, 149.5 degrees Fahrenheit on the top, shows you your low and high alarms. On the bottom, 230.5 degrees with the low and high alarm as well. So again, we're just going to wear this around our neck. We always have it, no matter what we're doing. So we don't have to be staring at the smoker all day long. We can get some other stuff done, which is good because I made a big mess in the kitchen that Michelle just cleaned. So I got to go wipe that down, get ready for her to make her portion of today's meal. So this is going to come in really, really handy. All right. So that's all we have for now. We're going to let this do its thing. We're going to let the meat soak up all that smoke, and we're going to come back to you in a couple hours, maybe sooner if we got to put some more wood in there. Might update you on what's going on. All right. Okay, welcome back. It's now 3:30. So the meat, the pork and the beef ribs have now been on for an hour and a half. The chicken for about an hour. So temperature check. The smoker itself is sitting at 269 degrees Fahrenheit. So a little bit hotter than what we would like. The beef ribs are currently sitting at 180 degrees. Again, maybe a little hotter than we want them to be. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to open the smoker up. We're going to visually take a look and turn the temperature down a little bit while we again check the water and add some more apple wood for some additional smoke at this time. Wow, I don't know if you can see, you probably can't from there, but things are looking amazing. I'm actually going to pull up my other camera on my phone here. And let's add this video in and see. Oh, see, I opened up the door and I get a low temperature alarm. So we're going to stop that alarm. Oh, it's actually on the main unit here. See, and it is actually, I know you can't see from there, but this unit, because of the temperature of the day, the screen is actually getting a little bit wonky. So I think I'm going to actually bring it down into the shade here, where it'll do the same thing, at least it's out of the sun. But again, I'm going to get some video on my phone here of what I'm looking at right now. So I'll do a little cut over. All right, so this is what we're looking at in the smoker right now. The water's pretty good. The wood has burnt down significantly again, so we're going to add more. We're also going to add more water just to top it up. But take a look at this chicken. Oh my God, let's just pull that out just a little bit and take a look and see what we got. Oh my God, that is coming along so nice. And actually, I think, in fact, the ribs are dripping down on top of the chicken to keep that nice and moist as well. Let's take a look at these pork ribs. Oh my God, look at those things. Oh, and I wish I had smell-o-vision here. The smoke, oh my God, is absolutely amazing. That smell coming through is just gorgeous. On the top, here we go. The pork ribs looking a little bit more done. The beef ribs, like I said, what was the temperature on those? Just gonna take a look right now. We're sitting at 178 degrees right now. With those, let's actually just be very careful. Ooh, that's very hot. Okay, let's move this probe and just get a different indication. Some thicker meat, maybe right there. What are we sitting at? Looks like our temperature is 160 right there. So in a bigger, fatter part of that beef. So let's just keep the probe there for now. We're going to pull out the water tray, add some more water and some more wood. But let's actually flip back to the other camera at this point so you can get a view of what's happening. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the view inside. Things are looking really, really good right now. So we're going to add more water and some more wood and keep things going here. Things are actually going better than I thought. I might just keep the temperature the way it is right now. I'm actually liking what's going on. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to change anything other than topping up the water here and adding some more wood. Oh yeah. Alright, perfect. Okay, get this button back up. Alright, good to go. Again, we're sitting at about 3:30 right now, about another hour and a half. We're going to pull everything out, we're going to get it wrapped up, we're going to put it back in. So right now we want to hit it with just an absolute ton of smoke, get that flavor in there, and just let it do its thing. Pretty soon I think I'm going to throw the smokies on, the sausages actually. I'm not sure how long those are going to take. I'm assuming maybe an hour and a half at best. So I think I'm going to wait until I wrap everything before I put those in, which I think will be good timing. So until then, we will see ya.
Welcome back to the channel. So like I said yesterday, when I was smoking, I had some guests coming over. They did come over about 3/4 way through the smoke, so I wasn't able to continue with the video yesterday, but I wanted to show you kind of the results, some of the leftovers and stuff that took place. The food was absolutely amazing. Everybody really had a really good time. So I do want to show you what the results of the smoke looked like, as well as actually go over the tools that we use, the smoke gateway system. I did do a bit more reading on that, and I did get that connected. I did at one point quickly run off to the beer store with the dongle hanging from my neck, and it started going crazy because it was losing connection. If I had the gateway system, which I'll show you, I could have continued to monitor what was going on in the smoker and stuff like that. So let's get into that, show you what we're looking at. Okay, so here we can see a couple of the things that we did. Here is a chicken that's been halved. It's got really good color on it. If we lift the skin, we can see that we did get a lot of the flavor and the smoke into the meat. The meat is very tender and juicy. The smell, very smoky. Just absolutely wonderful chicken. If we look at the ribs, we can see just how much flavoring we had on those ribs with the mustard and the rubs and stuff like that. Just absolutely coated in flavor and smoke. The ribs themselves, as I was actually transferring them out of the smoker into the foil, and then out of the foil back into the smoker, the ribs were at that point already fall off the bone. So part of our 3-2-1 method, that 2 hours wrapped in foil really just rendered all of those fats and just worked that meat so well. I then slathered everything in a gluten-free barbecue sauce and threw them back in the smoker for about another 35 minutes or so. At that point I was at temperature and I didn't want to overcook, so it wasn't quite a 3-2-1, but like I said earlier on, I was kind of rushing yesterday's smoke. The one thing that didn't work out so well yesterday were the sausages. I wasn't really monitoring those. I haven't done sausages before in the smoker with a bunch of other proteins. These ones did get overcooked. Unfortunately, they did still have a decent flavor, but totally overdone. Not impressed with those. So, I mean, out of all the proteins, I guess that's the one that failed. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe off my hands here and take a look at the smoke system. Okay, so like I said yesterday, the ThermoWorks, got a whole bunch of the different products. Again, this is an instant thermometer, which is wonderful for cooking if you're doing steaks or anything. Barbecue or on the stove, you can instantly just take this thing out, flip the handle, and you can get an instant read on your meat. You can see here, if I simply just grab the end, we're going to start getting an absolute instant read on that. The screen does light up, as you can see. If I flip it, you can be in any direction, and the screen follows you. This is a wonderful unit. We use this one all the time, which is typically why it's not in this case. it's normally accessible in our kitchen. Again, this is three separate timers on this machine, so you can time anything that you're doing, so you don't overcook stuff. I probably should have used that yesterday, but again, I didn't know how long the sausages were going to take. This is another just smaller instant read thermometer, a little portable one. More so, it's the exact same kind of idea as its larger brother that I just showed you, but this one's more portable. Good for camping, good for other things. So I do have that one as well. But today I wanted to focus on a little bit what I talked about yesterday with the smoke gateway. So you can see that the smoke system here, dual temperatures. So I'll just zoom in and see again. So we got dual temperatures, dual monitoring, so we can set highs and lows, so we get alarms, which is really, really nice. Again, this thing has a little kickstand to hold itself up. It's got magnets on the back, so you can stick it to something, side of your barbecue or something, again, somewhere that's not going to be really hot for the main device. Its satellite unit is this smoke receiver. As you can see, the temperatures are absolutely reflective of each other. The smoke receiver does get updates quite frequently, so it's not like every couple minutes or whatever. It's actually really quite accurate and on the ball. So as we move to the smoke gateway system, this is what I didn't have up and running yesterday. But what I have done is I have downloaded the ThermoWorks app. I did go through the setup procedure. I got the smoke gateway hooked up and synced to the main smoke machine, and then synced it with my internet connection. In this case, the smoke gateway required a firmware update, which I followed the instructions on the app, and it was very easy to update. Once that updated, you can see on the screen, I am basically getting the exact same temperatures. We're very, very close. Again, I think the smoke gateway will update every minute or every couple minutes. So again, a very accurate idea of what you're doing. So with the smoke gateway system, you can actually leave the house, you can go to your local grocery store, you can do some running around, and you can still be assured that everything is going to happen or is happening the way it's supposed to with your smoke. And you'll see I basically just put in two thermometers. One I put into a glass of hot water, one sitting on the counter, just so we can see the different temperatures that it's reading, and that it does in fact read dual temperatures. So very, very happy with that system. Very glad to get the smoke gateway system finally up and running so I can start utilizing it. So that's what we have for that today. So I want to thank you for joining me on this journey of smoking some proteins, enjoying the summer, having a few beers, and some laughs with friends. I want to thank you for tuning in. Come back anytime. I, Stephen, am a backyard warrior. I have many, many hobbies. That's why I've started this channel. I like to share those hobbies, my learnings, my downfalls and my wins. I love to share all of those things with different people. That's why I started the channel. Love to hear what you have to think. If there's something that you like, leave it in the comments. If there's something you didn't like, leave it in the comments. We'll try to make more of the content that you like to see. I'm kind of into everything. I do 3D printing, 3D scanning, RC cars, home renovations, auto repair. I kind of am not afraid of anything. I'm willing to take on any challenge, and I hope that you will be there to join me through some of those things. Let's learn together. So please, if you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. It's really going to help. Let me know what kind of content you want to see, and I'll make sure I can bring it to you. For now, happy smoking. Have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot.